Hello, everybody. Welcome to this English class. So this is the instant teaching program, and it is for current student. So today we are continuing our unit 7, Living History, and lesson 2, Grammar, Present Perfect, Avers and Neighbor. So last week we studied about seen and for using within the present perfect tense. But today we are studying avers and neighbor use in present perfect. Okay. So I am so today is Friday, September 10, 2021. Without further ado, please check homework letters before we start the class. Okay. So this is the homework that I gave you guys last week. And yes, two main points here regard it is related to listening. So I sent the listening order into the group, and some of you didn't and send it to me. So okay, so this is the answer key. So yes, of course. So you can see here, it is divided into three different columns here. So the first column, it is traced on the first symbol. Yes, and the second column is traced in the middle symbol. Yeah. And the last one, the last column or the third column, it is traced on the last symbol of the word. Yeah. So here you can see here they want you to listen to the word stress of the word in the box here. So and write them in the correct box here. Okay. So we just change it into this kinds of column. Yes. Now uh, uh it has one of the word has been done for us of each column here. So beautiful. Okay. And this one is romantic, and this one is Japanese. Okay. So let's check this answer and let's try to pronounce it together. So why are this word in this column? Okay. So okay, so the first one is, so as you can see here, when you see the big black points here, it means that you have to stress on this syllable. Okay, like interesting. So in, you stress on in, interesting. Okay, difficult. So div, you stress on it. Okay, sociable. Yeah, wonderful. Customer, yesterday, Mexican. Okay, so we stress on the first syllable of each word. Okay, and this column we are going to stress on the middle of each word. Yes, of each word. For example, ambitious. So we stress on beach. Okay, ambitious, expensive. So we stress on expensive, successful, apartment, surprising, religious, important, delicious. Okay, and the last three words here we're going to stress at the end of each word. So magazine, to noon, understand. Okay, good. So now this for this point they want us to just listen. Yeah, regarding number 2 here, want us to listen and practice saying the sentences here. So just say together. 1, we had a delicious meal in a Japanese restaurant. Jennifer didn't understand the religious ceremonies. Number 3, Christopher has a beautiful apartment in America. Number 4, the president of Portugal is a very important person. Number 5, Jonathan is a successful businessman in Switzerland. Number 6, Tisha is a journalist for Mexican magazine. Okay, so this one we just read this again and again to make it to improve our reading only. So and then we jump to point 12 here signs just for fun. So the first one is for Earth, number 1 here. If you take a look here, you will see letter A here and the word here, hand basket only, basket only. So it has been done for us already in a supermarket. Okay, so you can find out it when you go to the supermarket, you will see hand baskets only. So what about number 2 here? Number 2, the correct answer is letter E. So which means no table service, no table service. So when you go to the restaurant, you will see these kinds of sign for number 2. Number 3, yes, number 3, on cash machine. Okay, so letter S is the correct answer. When you went to the ATM or the cash machine, you can see please wait, your cash will follow shortly. All right, when you want to withdraw money, something like that, and then you will see it. Number 4, on the bus road. Imagine you are traveling on the road, and then you can see, okay, you can see here, now let us see here, the road works ahead. It means that it is under construction. All right. Number 5, in a shop window. Okay, when you go to the shop, and then what will you see? You can of course see summer sale, the discount. Yeah, the word that they describe, or it's summer sale, everything half price. So it means it's not full, it's half price only, for like 50% discount, right? The last one, in an airport. So when you go to the airport, you will see this sign. Okay, let it be here. Do not leave luggage unattended. So you must be careful with your luggage, and you don't leave it anyway. You don't leave it, just keep it with you, because you will get lost, okay, sometimes. So that's why you have to stay with your luggage when you're waiting for the aeroplane. Okay, good guys. So okay, so for number 13 here, it's about adjectives, and write the adjectives in the curriculum. So we have a lot of adjectives here in the bubble speech here. So we have historic, white, honest, cozy, gray, purple, brown, foggy, shy, modern, orange, cheerful, showery, touristy, black, selfish, sunny, lazy, exciting, windy, wet, calm, crowded, and warm. Yeah. So here we have 4 different columns. Okay, 4 different columns that we are supposed to place all the adjectives in each column correctly, accurately. And the first one has been for us, honest. So when we use honest, it means that we refer to people. He is an honest man's example, right? And let's take a look at this one. And beside honest, we have cheerful. Yeah, cheerful, kind. He's a kind man. Warm, lazy, selfish, and shy. What about places? The adjectives that describe places like historic. Yeah, example like it is a historic site. Example, cozy, exciting, modern. Okay, touristy, crowded. Okay, the crowded place. A lot of people over there. Colors. So let's talk about color. Here we have white, gray, purple, brown, black, and orange. What about the weather? Here we have showery, foggy, warm, sunny, and windy. So these are the adjectives of the weather. But you notice that the word warm is used twice here. Okay, so the word warm could be used to describe people. We can say it's also or mostly used to describe the weather. Okay, guys. So now we finished checking the homeworks. Thank you so much. And then please come here to review our make a quick review on our previous lesson. Last week, as I have mentioned earlier, we studied about lesson 1 grammar, present perfect. We focused on for and sin. When do we use for and when do we use sin in the present perfect? Okay, so here you can see here we use sin to express the specific time in the event started. My friend has studied English in last year, all right? And we use for to express or to show the length of time since something started. I mean, the amount of the time, okay? Amount of time, the period of time, something like that. So, for example, my friend has studied English for a day, or we can say, my friend has studied English for 5 years, example. So, when used for, it means telling the amounts of a period of time, all right? So now this is the new lesson for today. The new lesson for today, lesson 2, grammar, present perfect, avers and neighbor. Okay, avers and neighbor. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to acquire the use of aver and neighbor in present perfect tense, and you will be able to exercise, I mean, do some exercise practice on aver and neighbor in present perfect tense by practices I prepare for you. You will be able to use avers and neighbor in present perfect tense verbally and non-verbally, mean that you can use it to write, to communicate, to talk with other peoples you communicate with. Okay, so without further delay, please move to what we are focusing now. So now we can see the word neighbor versus the word aver. Yeah, today we really focus on these two terms, neighbor and aver. How do we use neighbor and how do we use aver? Okay, so I'm guiding you on these two on this along the way in order to let you understand it clearly, comprehend it, and then you can practice it. You can use it in your daily life as well. So use of neighbor. So actually there is a few some uses of the neighbor, but basically I want to share with you only a couple, I can say a couple of ways that we use neighbor here. The first one, giving advice. When you want to give advice to somebody, then you use neighbor. Okay, and you will see this. I will give you examples so that you will see clearly. Number 2, absence of experience. It means that when you don't have experience doing something, and then you use neighbor. Okay, let's get started. Let's check the example of number 1, giving advice. So never skip breakfast. Never skip breakfast. It means that a person, maybe your parents, tell you that never skip breakfast because they worry about your health. You know already, if you don't eat breakfast, so you will get problem with your health if you skip breakfast. So your parent who cares about you, so they say never skip breakfast. Another one is that never eat too much sausages. Okay, don't eat too much sausages. Okay, an example is for number 2, absence of experience. For example, I have never been abroad. Yeah, tell the experience that you never go abroad. Okay, so you say I have never been abroad. Number 2, she has never eaten spicy food. Yes, her experience, she doesn't like, maybe she doesn't like spicy food. That's why she has never eaten spicy food because it's spicy, right? So she doesn't like it. Yeah, so these 2 examples showing about the absence of experience of the people. All right, now use of ever. So here we got 4 here. I just want to share with you some 4 points here. The first one, asking to confirm. Okay, we use ever to asking for confirm. Number 2, to comment, give the comment. Okay, give the comment. Number 3, negative statement. Yeah, to state something negatively. And number 4, stating things you do at the first time. So it means that the first time that you do it, so you use the ever as well. So if you want to know it clearly, please pay attention to the examples here. Number 1, asking confirm. For example, have you ever eaten Khmer food? So ask to confirm whether your friend asked you whether you have ever eaten Khmer food or not. The second example here, has he ever drunk beer? So maybe you are at a party and then your friend asks you, have you ever drunk beer? If you have, I will share you and a beer. Yeah, something like that. And number two comment, okay, don't ever lie to me. Okay, see, tell the comment to somebody else. For example, you tell your brother, say, little brother, say, don't ever lie to me. Don't ever do that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. So these two examples showing about the comment, don't ever lie to me. Don't ever do that. Examples of number three, negative statement. I have not or I haven't ever been to Thailand. So never here, if you use with not, it will be a negative one. That's why some people saying that when we use not plus or no or not plus ever, it will become never. Okay, so we can say we haven't ever been to Thailand. And if you want to use never here, you can use, but you have to get rid out of not and ever. So you can say we have never been to Thailand. Yes, if you want to use never, but here you use ever to express the negative statement. So with not, okay? As you can see here, not here, haven't here. Okay, so haven't mean have not. So we have not or we haven't ever been to Thailand. He hasn't ever blamed me. Okay, good. Number four, stating things that you do the first time. For example, this is the first time I have ever met minister. So it's the first time for you to meet the minister. Okay, so you say I have ever met minister. This is the first time he has ever eaten seafood. So he has never eaten seafood before, and then you can say it is the first time he has ever eaten seafood. All right, great job, guys. So now I give you some tips or some way of using never and evers already, and give you some example to clarify it as well. Freda Hoffman. So Freda Hoffman is an archaeologist and writer. Look at her. And here are the places she went to. Yeah, she has been to. So Freda Hoffman was born in Germany, but she has lived most of her life abroad. All right. She has a passion for history and ancient civilizations. Her greatest love in Africa, and she has written several books about ancient Egypt. Okay, so let's take a look at places here. Where can you see? So start from this one. Okay, you can see the car here. Driving in, it's mentioned that driving in South Africa. So, okay, it is in South Africa. She drove there. Okay, so this one, walking the Great Wall of China. Oh, she went to China as well, and she walks the Great Wall of China as well here. Yeah, she's here. And this one, the third one, crossing the Sahara, Algeria. Okay, Sahara. Yeah, you know that it is very hot over there, and then we use the camel to travel there. Yes, and let's take a look at this one, the River Nile, Kenya. So she's also been to Kenya as well, and yeah, she's across the Nile, River Nile. And the last one here, archaeological site in Egypt. Okay, she went there and she worked there as well with her colleagues there. All right, so this is just really some information about her, and you can just note here. Here we use past simple, present simple, and also especially present perfect tense here. So was born here, past simple, and has lived here is the present perfect, and she has a passion here. It's just a present simple. So in this sentence, there are two present perfect tense here. She has lived most of her life abroad. And the last one is she has written several books about Egypt, ancient Egypt. Okay, so has written and has lived here, present perfect tense. So this is just the leading to the call lesson. So let's check interview between an interviewer and Freda. So I stand for interviewer and I stand for Freda. So let's get started, and then I have some gaps for you to complete as well. Okay, not a lot, but just okay. So now let me read the interview with Freda here. Freda, you have traveled a lot in your lifetime. Which countries, blah, 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 and we have the word to go to. So what is it? Which countries have you been to? So we use the word been here. So she went there already. So Freda, well, I prefer to go a lot of countries in Africa and Asia, but I have prefer ever or never been to South America. So we have yes, of course. Well, I have been to a lot of countries in Africa and Asia, but I have never been to South America. Interviewer say, when did you first go abroad? Freda, when I was 6, my family moved to England. Interviewer, why did you move there? Freda, because my father got a job as professor of history at Cambridge University. Interviewer, have you blah, 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 ever or never been interested in archaeology? So the answer is ever. Have you ever in question, right? Been interested in archaeological. Have you ever been interested in archaeology? Freda, yes, I prefer to have. So what is it? So the answer is yes, I have. So when you answer the question, when someone asks you in the present perfect tense, you just say yes, I have, or no, I haven't. If they ask you without any W question, it's just a yes, no question. Yeah. So just say yes, I have, or no, I have not or haven't. So in this case, Frida has a positive statement. So to say, yes, I have. When I was 10, there was an exhibition Tutankhamun, the Egyptian king, in London. My father took me to see it, and I was fascinated. After that, I knew that I wanted to go to Egypt and be an archaeologist. Okay, great job. So let's check another part. Continue from this conversation, this interview. The interviewer said, how many times to go to Egypt? So can you think using present perfect by using the word to go? So how many times have you been to Egypt? And Frida say 20 times at least. Oh my God, 20 times at least. And I go as often as I can. Interviewer say, have you ever or never discovered anything? So we use ever, right, in the question. Have you ever discovered anything? Yes, we have the verb to make some very important discovery. So the answer is, I have ever made some very important discovery. Yeah, I was a leader of a team that discovered some ancient tombs near Cairo. Interviewer, you've written books about Egypt, haven't you? How many books, blah, 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 we have the verb to write. So what is it? Present perfect. How many books have you written? Okay, how many books have you written? Frida, I've written 3 about Paros, and I've written and I've written a book about a journey I made from Cairo to Cape Town. Okay, good. And interviewer stated, ask that, how did you travel, by train or by bus or by car? Freda, in a Land Rover, of course. Interviewer asked finally, in all your travels, have you ever or never been in any dangerous situations? Remember that we use never or ever in the question to ask to confirm. So we use ever. Have you ever been in any dangerous situations? Oh, goodness, yes. I've often been in danger, but in situations like that, you learn so much about yourself. Great job, guys. So now you finish about this activity, this practice about using um, ever, never in present perfect. Okay, so let's move on to another practice. This is very short practice one. We have five lines here. So practice ever or never. So you have to decide, read each lines here, and then decide whether we use never ever. So number one, skip breakfast. Remember it? Ever skip breakfast or never skip breakfast? To give advice summary. Of course, it is never. Number two, have you read, not read, but it's read because it's pronounced read because it is used in present perfect tense, a golden book. Have you asked something to confirm, right? So we use ever. Have you ever read a golden book? Number three, we have made those strangers. Look at this last one. We don't know them. So you don't know them. So what is it? Never ever. Okay, we use never. Number four, I have eaten Thai food. Spicy. What's that? I have ever eaten Thai food, or I have never eaten Thai food. It's spicy. Look at the the second sentence showing you, giving you some hints about the previous one. So we use never. Yeah. Last one, number five. Has she bought you a cup of coffee? Asking a question to confirm, to know about something. Is it never or ever? Of course, it is ever. All right. So we have done our job right now. So make sure that you can catch up with this lesson well. And so now it's time to wrap up. Yeah, wrap up what we have learned. Of course, today we have learned about grammar point, present perfect. We focus on the use of neighbors and neighbors. Okay, neighbor here. So let's take a look at neighbor here. When you want to ask to confirm, and when you want to answer with a negative question with not, when you want to answer or respond with negative statement with not, so you can use ever as well. To when you want to share your experience, yeah, the first time you do things, so you can use ever. Yeah. And just briefly, shortly sharing about this one, neighbor here. When you want to give advice to somebody, and you want to give advice to somebody, and also in the absence of experience, when some people, or when you don't have experience of doing something, and then you say you use the neighbor in present perfect tense. So this is just a brief review or wrap up on the lesson we have just studied earlier. Thank you so much, everyone. So before that, let's take a look at the homework. So I got it from our workbook here. So it is on page 46. Okay, unit 7 here, always and ever here. So this is about the present perfect tense, and there's only one main points here. This is about present perfect tense, and there's only one main point here. It's about positive, and there are two subheading here. The first one, number one, complete the text with the verbs in the box in the present perfect. So okay, so in the box here we have 12 verbs. So you have to you have to read this one first, and then you may change you change it into past participle. In Khmer, you also know it as verb 3. For example, like travel, here using a traveled. Okay, so you add led to make it a past participle. Then you can read about James. You can read about this man, okay, journalist and traveler here, and you can use the verb in the bucket to complete, but you have to change it before you complete here. For example, here the first one is for Earth. Work here has worked. So which yeah, the verb work here is used already. So you can start from number 2 to number 12 here and use each word here to complete each line, but you have to change it to half participle first. Okay, great job. Okay, number 2, complete James sentences. Okay, yeah, this guy names is James, so they want us to complete about James, complete the James sentences. So pretend that you are James, and you say, I've worked for the same newspaper for over 20 years. So number 2 here, I plus a lot in Africa. So you can read this and use the verb here to say, the thing is that you just change he to I. It means that you pretend yourself to be James, and you say, I have worked for the same newspapers for over 20 years. Okay, so there are only 5 sentences here. You can do that. And good luck, everyone. I hope that you can do this and send it to me. Deadline for this homework is on Thursday, September 16, 2021. So send it earlier as possible as you can, and then I can check your homework as well. Thank you so much. And yes, remember that practice makes better. So the more you practice, the more you know, the knowledge or experience you gain from your experience or your practices. Okay, good. So thank you so much, everyone, for your participation and attention today. I hope that to see you in the next videos. Okay, goodbye. Stay safe and sound with your family member and your friend. Good luck. Goodbye.